Shalom, shalom, following the show. Welcome again to The Rock. We ate salads all winter long. These are seeds that I planted last year. Last spring, so the spring of 2020. And as you can see, it's still growing. A lot of them died back. Sorry, some of these are spring, some of these are fall, 2020. Some of them died back, but I did not plant any of these, and we ate on these all winter. Now, this is just one of my gardens. You can see they are already self-seeded. So these are the seeds that I was unable to capture to sell to some of y'all. These are my Florida broadleaf mustards right here. Hallelujah. But as you can see, they made it through the snow, where the snow was packed up 6 inches over them, over the leaves. You couldn't see the log boundaries when it was snow, after it had done snowing. The garlic was filled, and I will accredit a lot of it to the mulch. The mulch kept the root zones warm so that the plant was able to survive, and then the snow just acted as basically an insulator. As long as that cold wind didn't whip on these greens, when the temperature was -1, they actually did, as you can see, really well. If you got some Swiss chard, Swiss chards are biennials, so they'll go to seed this year. You see some of them made it. Now this is my smaller Swiss chard garden. This is the one we do most of our eating from. Then we have one that we do most of our canning and freezing from. So these are the greens that we eat, and then I have other gardens where we actually can freeze and let stuff go to seed so that I can harvest and put seed back and then obviously sell some. And so these are all Florida broadleaf mustards, along with some Swiss chard here, along with some onions that I don't know how they got over here. Hallelujah. You'll see we have dandelions in here. Again, I'm only showing you one of my gardens right now. This is garlic. We came through here last fall, and we thought we pulled up all of our garlic because I have a bed that's specifically for garlic now. And, well, needless to say, we missed quite a bit of garlic. No biggie. Praise y'all. As you can see, I use anything in my gardens. So this is just some bark from a tree. I bury logs, and as you see over time, they break apart. If I find old wood out here, I'll bring it to my garden, dig a small trench, like I did with this one. See this log right here? And I'll just throw stuff on top of it. I try to make sure I put some sort of nitrogen or bird poop or whatever on top of it, because it'll help break that wood down faster. And then the earthworms will go into it, eat into it. So if I have lettuces growing in, I did not plant any of these this year. Oh, what is this? I have greens in here. I don't even know what they're called. I don't know what they are. More lettuces that are springing up by themselves. They went to seed. I harvested some of these seeds. It looks like buttercrunch lettuce, actually. It looks like buttercrunch. But they went to seed. I harvested as many seeds as I can. And of course, as you're harvesting them, you're going to knock seeds down, and they're going to take root. All by themselves. So this is how we were able to actually eat all year. Got some red leaf, kale. And again, none of this is planted. These are beets that are also, I think these are beets, biennials. But these beets that we are in here, we eat the beet greens. So in this garden, we don't pull the beets. We leave them in here. That's Swiss chard right here. We leave them to produce beet greens. As you can see, some of the size of these beets, once they, if I can get at that for you. You see right there, if you don't pull it, the beet will literally turn to a hard piece of, hard root, but it feels like a hard piece of wood. Let me see, there's a better picture. Look at that. Now these seeds right here are shiso. I don't want them, also known as perilla. And I'm gonna go through and get these out of the garden. But as you can see, it just produces an abundant amount of beet greens. And then those are some micro mustards. We have tons of dandelion that's growing in here. Oh man, I got shiso everywhere. I have to come through here. More micros. I have no clue what that is, but it tastes really good. So in this garden, you can see that we were able to eat greens. Okay, not beet greens, but we were able to eat mustards actually all winter long. We also have kales in another garden. Hold on, I'll show you that one. I have another smaller garden over here. We were actually able to grow some kales. The mint's just been exploding. And then it's parsley in here, right? Parsley? Cilantro, that's what it was. We have cilantro that made it through the frost. We have more greens in here that we've been eating on all year. Yeah, we have red Russian kale that we were eating in here. But as you can see, our parsley made it through the freeze. Ah, dang it. Cilantro made it through the freeze. I have no clue. I ate the turnips. So we have tons of parsley. Cilantro. I'm gonna get it eventually. We have tons of cilantro in here, and as you see, we use a lot of different things for our gardens. We use eggshells. When they eat their tea, we just throw them in here, and the worms will come in here and eat. And yes, this is rot already. They planted dinosaur kale in here this year. So this right here has already been planted with dinosaur kale. And then here, I think we planted ruby red and butter crunch lettuces in here this year. But yeah, you can see the cilantro and the different greens that are in here. So we were able to eat this all year, all winter. All winter we were able to eat on this. And it was a blessing. So in your area, don't be afraid to try things. I just put down, that lettuce already coming up. I just put down loads of leaves and any sticks or anything that I can find that'll break down, but that'll also, especially in the winter, provide warmth for your root zones. If you keep the roots intact, even if the top of the plant does die off, if you keep the roots intact and keep them warm, there's a high probability your plant will come back as soon as the temperatures are warm enough. And now we've only had, our temperatures have been, I think we've had a week of high 50s to low 60s is our high, and the plants are just thriving, booming. I would show you the other garden, some of our other gardens, but I'm not walking way over there, so this is gonna be good enough. This gives you an idea. Here's some blue dwarf kale. Went to seed during the summer of 2020 and just came back, and you can see the leaves that are in here. This is how we kept them alive. We just piled in leaves and leaves and leaves on top of it, even to the point where we buried the plant. And it kept coming. It just kept coming. It wouldn't die. Look at that. Rivka says this is cilantro. I got it right. Yes, cilantro. But as you can see, it's kind of mixed in with whatever this is. Yeah, so these greens, obviously, since I don't know what they are, I don't sell them. But you can see the leaves. So don't be afraid to use ample amounts of ground cover, especially as you're heading into winter. When you're heading into winter, don't be afraid to use lots of ground cover. Also, lastly, let me show you, I just propagated some goji berries from root cuttings. We got mint everywhere. We're starting minting tires now. We have so much mint. But my goji berries, we've already planted probably close to 10 plants on the land, but these are my propagators. I kind of basically leave them in here, let them grow over the course of the year, and then I propagate them, and I'm able to get more goji berries by just cutting off part of the roots. You see that? So next year, these will be ready to be transferred in different areas in our land, and then these will have new cuttings that I can then propagate off of. I'm doing the same thing with my elderberries right now. Hallelujah. So yeah, I mean, we have all sorts of mint right here. This is a spearmint. It's doing well. Our oregano, doing well. And again, you see, everything has that ground cover. This is just hay from the goat pen. This is hay from the goat pen that I used as a ground cover to keep the moisture in, to insulate. Sage, and that's lemon balm. Over here we have sweet mint. If you're looking for sweet mint cuttings, let me know, because the garden's over here. This is supposed to be sweet mint. From here over. And well, I've lost control of the mint. So if you're looking for some root cuttings for sweet mints, because they won't stay in the garden, let me know. This is peppermint. Well, that's peppermint. So as you can see, the sweet mint's kind of coming from over here to here. It's supposed to stop here, but now it's coming over to the peppermint. So I took some peppermint and planted it in a couple of other garden beds. Thyme has done well. Rosemary right here, right?
Yes, Master.
Rosemary, which the sisters make awesome seasonings, and I put it in my teas. I love rosemary. Lavender. So don't be afraid to use that ground cover. Leaves, wood chips, pieces of bark, whatever you have that'll biodegrade with some nitrogen, that'll break down with some nitrogen, don't be afraid to add it to your garden. This is how we were able to eat all winter. Not just what we froze, what was blanched, what was canned, but we were able to come out here all year and pick fresh greens from our garden. And we didn't use a greenhouse. We just used the warmth of the soil from the mixture of the breaking down carbons and nitrogens in the soil. Basically, in a sense, kind of turning our garden beds, well, these garden beds, into warmers, into little warming stations where they kept the root zones warm enough that it was still able to produce some greens. So my whole family was able to have a fresh salad every day. Hallelujah. I don't know how well this will work in Sutton and other zones, planting zones. I don't know how to work over there. We don't get tons of hard freezes. We did have, or long hard freezes. We did have several this year that were a week long, but we don't get, freezes that are 2 degrees for 2 months. So I don't know how it'll affect you in your zone, but here, as you can see, everything's doing quite well. Our trees are already budding, figs and apricots. And you saw the berry bushes are already coming in. Apples and pears and plums, they're already budding and coming to life. Looking forward to a wonderful planting season. May the Most High bless this land, and may the Most High bless your land. For those that keep the commandments of Yah, may He bless the work of your hands. May He bless your lands. Keep the lands fertile. Provide the nutrients. Provide you the wisdom to grow ample amounts of food this year. I mean, if there's any time we needed it, we needed this year. For everybody to grow ample amounts of food. Hallelujah. All right, bless y'all. Somewhere down here I have where are you at? I have an aloe vera plant out. There it is. You see that? You see the leaves died off, but the plant itself is not dead. Hallelujah. Anyways, bless y'all. Use what the Most High provided for you on your lands. And shalom.